Hi, so I wanted to go through some ways in which I can help you understand your back pain, or it could be neck pain, but pain that sometimes is there for a while, goes away and then comes back, or this could be pain that's constantly there, such as chronic pain. So the purpose of this video is to go through and help you understand what you could do for your pain and how you can control it yourself. So when we experience pain, it is sent up our spinal cord to our brain, and our brain processes the stimulus. This is usually based on previous experience of pain, or it could be based on your emotions. So, for example, if you're having a bad day, you've woke up, spilt coffee everywhere, you've got in your car and you're in a rush, then your pain could be worse because of your mood. Whereas if you wake up one day and the sun's shining, you're happy, everything's going your way, your pain levels will probably be decreased. So it is massively influenced by your state of mind. Also, it depends on previous experiences. So, for example, if you've ever been stung by a wasp, you know that when you see a wasp, you try and avoid it because you know that danger's there. So your brain has preempted you to try and react to get away from the wasp. Another example is there's a popular saying where a lot of pain psychologists use is if you were walking in a forest and you felt this scratch on your leg and you didn't really know what it was and it turned out to be a snake bite, the next time you went through that forest and you got a scratch on your leg, instantly your brain would react and think it was a snake again, even if it was just a twig. So previous experiences can have a huge impact on the way that we perceive pain and our bodies respond to pain. This can be changed, and it's about taking control and using different techniques to overcome this pain. But we can give you tools to help you with this, and there's definitely things that you can do to control this and get out of pain. So I want to go through with you different types of pain and the relationship that this can have with tissue damage. So tissue damage is anything to do with your skin or the ligaments or anything like that, and the pain that you experience. So I've put together this piece of paper. So I've got severe pain, severe tissue damage, moderate pain, moderate tissue damage, mild pain, mild tissue damage, and no pain and no tissue damage. Okay, so we'll go through a few examples. So if you were to break your leg, you would expect severe pain, wouldn't you? So you've got severe pain and severe tissue damage. So I'm just going to put a line towards that. If you banged your hip on the door, you've probably got mild tissue damage, mild pain. Same for moderate. And if you have no tissue damage, you'd expect to have no pain. Okay, so what happens if you had a migraine? Okay, so there's no tissue damage, but you're in severe pain. For those of you who have not experienced migraines, it is horrendous. So then I'll draw a line up to there. Okay. If you cut your finger on like a paper cut, so you got really mild tissue damage, but quite a lot of pain. So I'll put moderate pain. Okay, and if you, I don't think of an example. Another good one is there was an episode with David Beckham where he broke his toe, his ankle, and he kept playing, and he actually said that he had no pain, and that's what let him continue. The same with soldiers and things like that. They can have severe tissue damage, but in that initial sort of time frame, they can't actually feel anything. So that would be severe tissue damage and no pain. People who've had amputations, so they have phantom pain. So they're in severe pain, but there's no tissue damage there because it's in the amputated leg. So again, trying to think of some more examples. Try to think. If you poke your eye, someone pokes you in the eye, it's minimal tissue damage but severe pain. So you get what I'm saying. So the relationship between pain and tissue damage is so variable. There's no actual true relationship between that. And this is what we commonly see with people getting scans. So there's been a lot of research done where they have scanned a huge population, so some which are presenting with back pain and some which aren't, and they saw that the people who aren't experiencing back pain, a lot of their MRI scans came back that they had tissue damage, so whatever it was, whether it was disc or whatever, they didn't have any symptoms of any pain. We're not as far advanced in that research at the moment, so we don't really know why some people present with symptoms and some people do, but that's why it's really important not to really focus in on MRI scans. And myself and Claudia in clinic try to get people to think about not getting scans, because if you get a scan and it says for example degeneration or whatever, then suddenly you're focused in on that, and that can have a huge effect on your perception of that pain. But there's no actual correlation at all. But I could look at a scan and that person, it could say they've got severe tissue damage, but that I could not tell you if that person's actually in pain. So I hope that makes sense. That there is a lot of different perceptions with pain, and it's based on your experiences, and going off a scan isn't great, and that does not define how much pain you should be in. And equally, if you had a scan which came back and said that nothing was detected but you were in severe pain, so I think of it as a bit like a picture of your front door. So the scan is a picture of you statically, but it can't actually tell what's happening when you're moving. So it could be something that you're doing day to day that is causing that pain, but that won't be picked up on a scan. Okay. So research has identified that pain persists when we do things. So, for example, if you bent over at work and you hurt your back, every time you bend over at work, your brain could be replaying that memory. So your brain's already saying, oh, you're going to hurt your back, don't bend down. Then straight away you're stopping doing that activity, and that's what's going to end up causing this to be a chronic thing, because you're avoiding that exercise and that movement that actually helps your body. It causes you to become hypersensitive. So the signals to your brain are so sensitive that anything can set them off, and that's why the pain becomes chronic and reoccurring. So having pain stops you from doing things that you want to do. So it causes you to become inactive. It has an effect on your mood and decreases activity and things like that. And it can also cause stress and frustration, which then has a negative cycle on your pain. And it's so personable as well. So only you can sort of make that change to your pain. So it's getting strategies and putting goals in place for you to work on and dull down that hypersensitivity that your brain is producing. Okay, so you could have that pain, it could go away, and then it comes back. So it's really trying to dull down them pain symptoms by changing the memories and the response that your brain is having. Okay. it's really important to remember that the messages that your brain gets from trauma or anything like that isn't pain. So your brain decides whether that is pain. It's not the actual signal is pain. So it's the way you're interpreting things, different stimuluses and things like that, and different messages your body is giving you. So I often say to people, imagine so you think about a bike. So a bike needs oiling, it needs cleaning, it needs looking after it. If you ride the bike, if you don't, that bike becomes rusty, it becomes stiff, it doesn't work as well. So just imagine, just use that sort of connotation as your body, really. So if you look after your body and you feed it well and you move it, it's more likely to look after itself as well. So pain changes the way that we do things, okay? So, for example, you're a manual worker, your back is hurting, so you reduce your duties, okay? So your body gets used to that. So you stop going to the gym after work and things like that. So your activity levels suddenly decrease, okay? So when the pain goes and you're feeling great, back to the gym where you were, back at work full time, and bam, the pain is back. So then you suddenly are off work. You suddenly stopped doing all of the exercise, all of your gym work and things like that. So that is a vicious circle, okay? And you end up in this sort of limbo where you're up and down this graph, because you'll do so much and then bam, you'll be in pain, so you stop it, and vice versa, and that will link with when you're getting the pain, okay? So that's causing this hypersensitivity to your pain and adding to it as well. So what happens if we change this, okay? So we're trying to dull down them pain signals. We want to try and keep active as well. So the effects of inactivity, wrote them down. So if you stop doing the activities, your muscles get weaker, your muscles become stiff and your joints are stiff, your fitness reduces, you become more tired, you're more fatigued, you just think, I can't be bothered, I'm totally fed up. Your mood decreases, so this is where you can get into sort of quite depressed, quite low mood, which then causes you to put weight on because you're not moving as much. Your eating habits have probably changed. Has a massive effect on sleep, so you're not sleeping as well, and you feel more tense in your muscles. So it is a vicious circle, because I've got this chart here. So if you constantly have persistent lower back pain because of this hypersensitivity in your body, this causes you to alter your activity, like what I said. So you're not doing as much, you're less active, things like that, which then has huge physical side effects. So like what I've just said, so reduce muscle strength, tiredness, low mood, things like that, which then feeds back into this constant back pain, okay? So we need to change that cycle, and the only way, and I'm totally mindful that when you're in pain, the last thing you want to do is do exercise and things like that, and you just want to curl in a ball or lie flat on the floor. We totally get that, but it's all about pacing, and it's really, really important not to just have a day where you just do everything. Like we all do it. We feel great. We get up and we'll fit all of our jobs in. So we'll clean the whole house, top to bottom. Next day we're knackered. We've got our back is aching. We feel tired. We just do nothing. So it's really about trying to break these things up and not do everything in one go. So maybe it's depending on work. Can you separate the day with like admin or something like that? Like really mix the day up so you're not doing anything at once. So you're trying to gradually get yourself back to where you were. So using pace and strategies, getting more active. So trying to do more walking, or whether it's cycling, Pilates, yoga, strength work, but pacing and gradually getting back into it, not rushing straight into it, because then you might be off for a number of days. There's a lot of research done into breathing work, so really focusing on your breath and relaxing. So there's a lot being done at the moment where you get yourself into a different position and you really focus on your breath, and that will help sort of ease this pain response, because at the moment it's so sensitive and anything can set it off. And also breathing into movements. So for example, if you hurt your back bending down to empty your washing machine, why not, when you're slowly bending forwards, take a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out as you go into that movement, and really trust your body, because you want to have confidence. Your back isn't going to snap or anything like that doing bend down the washing machine. And I think health professionals have previously sort of scared people by saying things like slip disc, crumbling spine, all this horrible wording for things, when really it's just it's the way our brains have sort of perceived what's happened. So it's about trusting your body and having that confidence, because your body's carries around all day, so it's strong, it can do it, but it's getting that confidence back. So using breathing into different exercises and not having that fear of movement. So the worst thing to do is being scared to say bend forward or bend backwards, because then you're you're reaffirming the belief that your body has. If your body's like, oh, bending forward is going to hurt my back, and then you think, right, well, I'm not going to bend forward, so you're reaffirming that action is harmful, when it's not. It's just about getting that confidence back. So I hope this has helped sort of understand your pain a little bit more. You are in control of it, and there's so much you can do. If you have any questions at all, please drop us an email, message or phone call, or write in the comments. We are here to help. But there's definitely a lot you can do. And sort of, if you think about it, what benefit would you have not trying any of this? Because it's all about having that control around your own movement and your own pain as well. Thank you.